Hey, so this video is just going to be me rambling about my past 2024. This video is really meant for future me, not for you. It's not going to be informational as in a recap of what happened in the world, it's more personal. So you don't have to watch this one, you can wait until the next video. But for your viewing pleasure, I'm playing Minecraft in the background while I talk. I know it's not Subway Surfers, but still pay attention. And I'll show pictures every so often, so chill out, grab a snack, and let me ramble. The past 2024 has had its ups and downs, as I'm sure that's the case for every year for everyone. I like to think that this past year was overall pretty good compared to previous years. As a personal rating, I'd give it a 6 out of 10. However, there were still pretty not so great things as well. Let's start going chronological and seeing if I stick with it. In January of 2024, I tried to make a bullet journal for the year to see if I'd actually use it. Spoiler alert, I did not. Though I did try for the month of January, and I guess February and the rest of the months didn't make the cut. At the beginning, I wrote down a list of goals. Some of them I completed, and some of them I knew I wasn't going to complete. The first one was working out consistently 3 times a week. This goal actually survived for quite a while before fizzling out. I stopped working out consistently around April because of other life plans and events, though I do plan on picking up this goal again and trying again. I believe this goal didn't stick because I did not make it a priority. Instead, I made eating healthier a priority, and that has stuck throughout the year. Consistently, I have been having fruits and vegetables every day, and that has made me very happy. The next goal was making 100 artworks this past year, which would be around 2 pieces each week. I did not meet this goal either, however, I did come close-ish. I made around 50 pieces this year, not all of them finished, mind you, but I did create quite a few pieces. Some of them were for jobs that I was applying to throughout the year, others were for selling and projects. Lastly, there are a few for a D&D campaign and art fight pieces as well as sketches. I don't know how much I'll be showing here because some of it is confidential work that will be shown later, so we'll see. I don't think I'll have goals like this moving forward because it puts a lot of pressure on the quantity rather than the quality of work, so more so it's just going to be creating overall. This goal I knew I wasn't completing, but I wanted to put it onto the list anyway. I wanted to have weekly uploads for social media. This was a good goal to have, but alas, it's just not feasible for me, not currently. The idea behind this was to potentially get more people interested in my artwork, which did happen somewhat, but not from uploading content. Though I will say, for the most part, I have been somewhat consistent by not being consistent, so I'll take that as a win. However, the new goal for this year is going to be uploading at least once a month, so we'll see how that goes. I had a goal of getting a job with my degree. I won't get into the woes of having a tough time doing this, but I will say it's incredibly difficult to get a creative job right now. But I did have some tests for companies throughout the year, which I'm very proud of. This is still going to be a goal of mine, and we'll see what happens. I wanted to plan for another trip to either a different country, going out of state, or on a cruise. And I'm happy to say that I've done this already. I did quite a few trips to Massachusetts this year, and I have current plans to go to Germany at some point this year. I really like this goal and I plan to stick to it because I love traveling. So I hope to plan another big trip for the next year beyond 2025 and during 2026. This goal I did complete. I wanted a car and I now have said car. I talked a little bit about this in my Minecraft series, funnily enough. I was having thoughts about buying a car because I needed one versus getting a car that I wanted. I'm happy to say that I got a car that I wanted rather than just buying a car that I didn't want. I ended up getting a hybrid vehicle, a little Prius, and I love it. His name is Scooter, and I plan on decorating him over the years that I have him. I've been going back and forth about getting him a car wrap with a design that I create, but we'll see. I had the goal to sell at least one piece I created. This goal was framed around trying to push myself to get into like a craft fair or a museum or a place that sells artwork. I am happy to say I sold around 75 pieces this year. Probably more, but I lost track while I was at the craft fairs. I have plans and goals to do more craft fairs again this year, now that I know that I can do them entirely myself, which includes the setup and takedown. So I plan to do more. I also have plans about talking to a local ceramic studio about making ceramic sculptures again, so we'll see how that goes. The last goal I had in 2024 was to get around 500 subscribers on YouTube. I knew this goal wasn't going to happen. After all, I'm not trying to become a YouTuber. The whole point of this channel is to act as another portfolio when I'm applying to jobs. A lot of creative companies look at this sort of thing. I started this year with about 120 subs, which is already amazing, but throughout the year, rounding up, I've gained another 100, which is fucking awesome. But it's not just about subscribers either, as I've learned throughout uploading. I've gotten a total about 8,770 views this past year, which is just bonkers to me because the town that I live in is roughly about 10,000 people. So to think that every 8 people I see in town would be a viewer is wild. From there, it just kind of gets slightly unfathomable. I have about 250,000 impressions over the past year, which is how many times my little thumbnails and videos were shown to people, which is wild. Finally, the last statistic is how many people come from those impressions. Most of the people who saw my content are new and they have no idea who I am or what I do. So, to put this into perspective, out of 100 people who see my little thumbnails, my titles, and topics, 2 people will actually click on it. From what I understand, it's actually a pretty good statistic, especially considering the higher amount of impressions. I know, it's a lot of math. And honestly, it kind of sounds like I'm bragging here, but I'm pretty proud of myself for having no idea what I'm doing. So I think I'll keep this goal for next year as well, and we'll see if those numbers change for better or for worse. As for the rest of the months, I'll go over some specifics that happened. I'm not going to cover everything because some of it is extremely personal, but yeah. In January, I did a bunch of projects and things in the background, mostly relating to Project S. In February, I worked on the Minecraft series quite a bit and started to work with polymer clay. At the end of March, I officially bought a car and have been very happy with it since. In April, I went to go see the eclipse, which was really cool. It wasn't my first time seeing one, but it was the first time I completely traveled alone by myself. To keep myself occupied and not to be completely socially awkward, I pretended to record a video, which won't ever see the light of day besides the clips that I'm going to show here. There you go. That's what it looks like, at least on my camera anyway. You guys can see on the horizon just how dark it actually is. That's exactly what my view is right now. All the way around. In May, I went to go see The Longest Johns and the Dreadnoughts with my best friends, which was fucking awesome, and I will do that again. We also went to the Natural History Museum while we were there, and it was pretty cool. Got to see dinosaurs and butterflies, which was awesome. In June, I did my first craft fair as a professional. I say this because I did a couple craft fairs at my college, but there wasn't really an entry fee or anything. It was entirely student-led and driven. However, this craft fair was LARAC, which is a recognized arts festival, and I was really lucky to get a spot. I didn't do well with this fair because there was a huge upfront cost for the booth and getting a table, getting artwork printed, etc. But I had a blast, and having people come up to me to talk about my work was always incredible. June was a little busy as my brother graduated, my sister's birthday, and quite a few other things. In July, I picked up a seasonal job at a local venue, which was a good experience. I've worked in food service before, but this was entirely different from being a hostess at a restaurant. I do plan on doing this again if I'm still working the job that I'm currently doing. In July, I worked on a play doing a background sets for Willy Wonka, which was pretty cool. In August, I went to a rent fair with a friend of mine, and I have never been to one before, but I've always wanted to go. So we had a blast doing that. In August, I've had quite a few trips to the hospital. I won't get into it as everyone is okay and it's personal. But I did want to mention that I've had ups and downs this year, so this is one of the downs. In September, I did another couple craft fairs to end my year and finally made some profit, which was enough to convince me to do it again. I also went to a hot air balloon festival with my buddies and it was a blast. I would love to do that again, but actually go into the hot air balloon this time. I also went to my first rave in September and I enjoyed myself immensely. In October, I went to a wedding and had fun baking lasagna while the bride and groom were speaking at the table.
Hi, my name's Elisa and I'm at a wedding right now, and guess what my job is? I'm cooking lasagna while everybody else is at the ceremony. Wedding.
It was a blast, and I ended up editing the wedding pictures, and I'm proud to say that those skills haven't decreased over time. I also developed a mochi donut obsession while at this wedding, and I've been trying to look for a place near me that sells them. I will try to give updates about this adventure in the future. I also went to a costume contest in October and won as Captain Crunch, which I would say is the absolute highlight of this year. I didn't really have much going on in November that I'm willing to talk about. Overall, this month just kind of sucked for me. And finally, in December, I hung out with friends and family and finalized plans to travel to Germany in 2025. That kind of wraps up my year. It's not everything, but it's what I'm willing to share. And future me watching this, you're welcome. I know you'll look back at this video with fondness and cringe, so I hope it was worth it to you. Good luck, and stay safe.